guys. Sorry about that. My phone overheated while I was working through the covenant. And meanwhile, while I was waiting for my phone to cool down, I took communion, me and the Lord. This is still August 23rd, 2026. It is a Sunday. It is about 12:30. I am meditating on the Lord's table. As I took the Lord's table, stuff just continued to pour in. Beautiful stuff, right? I would encourage you, if you are feeling the sense of being called to do great and awesome things for God in this world filled with darkness, and you're feeling like I feel, we have this exclusive, difficult job of preparing the earth for his return and getting people ready for the wedding feast that is going to happen here on this earth, that you start, and I need to do it more, have communion with the Lord by yourself, because you are his servant. You are singularly his child, and you have to see yourself as under him. Then when you come into the body, into the fellowship of the saints, you come in as a son and daughter or daughter into the fellowship. You don't go to the fellowship to become a son. You bring your intimacy and your love and your devotion and your calling into the fellowship. David was called by God out in the fields as a young boy, killing the lion and the bear with his own hands. You understand? He was called under the eye of God out in the fields. Paul was killing Christians, and he was called directly from heaven by Jesus. Peter, James, and John, and Andrew were fishing, and they were called individually. They had to come and physically walk toward Jesus and then follow him. Nothing has changed for 2,000 years. Jesus still calls us individually. The ideas that were put forth by the enemy, especially during the Obama years, about God, making covenant with people groups that are suffering. I forget what they call it. It's a theology it's evil. It's like communism, but it's the idea of a suffering people, that they are the ones that the gospel's to save. It's all about nations or groups, blacks, whatever group it is. It's all garbage. God, at the wall of partition has been broken down. God doesn't see skin color. God doesn't see education, nor caste system level of human existence. We are all equal under the eye of God. Whether you're a slave or an elite trillionaire, we are equal. And if you want to play trillionaire and you want to play elite and you want to play God, you're going to be destroyed. Absolutely. So you know the words that are being recorded by YouTube. If you're elite and you're a trillionaire or a billionaire and you don't serve the Most High, and you're not surrendered on your knees and on your face before the Most High, Jesus, the King of Kings, who died on a cross, you're going to be wiped out. So, reviewing again what I was saying as it pertains to the cup, this is the covenant. When Jesus' side was pierced, he purchased the entire earth, including the outer rim of the Antarctic, the firmament, and down. And then below, because Jesus went down to the depths to preach to the sons of disobedience, the 200 angels that came down, that produced Nephilim. Who are we fighting today? Nephilim. Who runs Europe? Nephilim, probably, in not every nation, but definitely England, France. These are places where the enemy infiltrated through the bloodlines and came in, just like the Amalekites who hated Israel, just like the Edomites that got infiltrated by Nephilim, by dark spirits, for one purpose: to destroy the plan of God to save his people. So if you're against Israel right now, you're against God's plan and the covenant. The cup is about a covenant that was everlasting to Abraham. Do you get it? Part 2. The broken body that we eat is our brokenness too. If you're not a broken man or a broken woman or a broken anything, you're eating brokenness. And when we eat that broken bread, that unleavened bread, we are in the way of the cross. We are seeing every level of torture that Jesus went through. The verbal torture, the questioning, the waiting in isolation underground, not sleeping for the final appearing that would then eventually lead to crucify him, the Roman scourging, right? The crown of thorns, the spitting, and then to carry the cross in the heat of the day. Needed help from a guy named Simon. That cross is the tree of life. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He is the tree of life carrying that cross that carries the curse that has made us all have a death sentence. Every human has a death sentence. And what is man doing today? They're trying to defeat the death sentence through technology, through gene splicing, through freezing their semen and doing some kind of methodology to avoid the reality of death and judgment. Because they know their death is judgment. They know it's over. They got to play while they were breathing God's air, the Epstein-type people and others, way darker than him. But then when they're dead, they're dead. The Queen of England's dead. So authority over the Nephilim is what we get. David killed Goliath, a Nephilim. You don't understand that. It's because you haven't dug deep in the Word. You haven't read the book of Enoch. When you read the book of Enoch, Jubilees, Jasher, those books, you get the inside story of what life was like in the days of Jacob and his sons. What life was like. More information about Enoch and Noah. These are real accounts passed on from father to children, children on. You don't think that word was preserved through the family tree of Shem's tree, Japheth's tree, and Ham's tree? All of them knew the father Noah. They knew the flood. They knew the judgment. They knew every bad guy was killed. But he came back. Nimrod is a product of that. Genesis chapter 11. And then what happens in Genesis chapter 12? Abraham is called from Ur of the Chaldeans, Babylon, and he's told to go to Canaan to take back the territory stolen by Canaan, which was Ham's seed. They had no rightful claim to the land of Canaan. That was Shem's land. That's God's land. That's Jehovah's land. That's Jesus coming back to claim it when he did his public ministry, cast out demons, where the northern kingdom lived and where the Decapolis was and Bashan. That's all stuff I've said before. You have to understand that spiritually. So when you take communion and it says, this is my cup of the covenant, we are drinking it. You're drinking all that history and the reality of what he suffered and what it secured and what it means to us in this age to finish the work of being an ambassador. When he said, all authority has been given unto me, now take this message of the kingdom to the ends of the earth. Baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Teach them to observe all the things I've commanded. And lo, I go with you even to the end of the age. We are finishing that work in our time. However number of billions of people are on the earth, we've got the last soul gets saved, something happens. Matthew 24:14. We are living it out right now, and you got to enter in. If you're not, then you're a bystander. You're in the stands, and who knows what that means for you? But we're to be on the stage. We are the actors. I tell this to my kids. You watch all these movies, fantastic, Supernatural, Thor and Zeus and all this stuff that they're reenacting to get our kids captured by these fake Roman gods that they worshipped. And men were gods. Caesar, they wanted to be worshipped. That's what they want, guys, today. They want worship. They drink it like fine wine. They want the worship. But we only worship one, the one above the blue sky, the throne that's above that, the sapphire stone underneath, the angels and the elders worshiping constantly. What was described by Ezekiel in chapter 1. We worship the awesomeness of heaven and the glory of the throne and Jesus at the right hand. And when we take communion, we proclaim, we preach, we declare corporately and individually his death till he comes. So we have to take it till he comes, because then he's going to drink that wine with us in the millennial. He's going to drink it with us at the marriage feast. He's waiting. Now, he doesn't feel what we feel. He's not human in that sense. He's not living in time, but we are. So that's why we got to do remembrances, because we forget, because we need to be, this is what the whole purpose of this is, to stir you up. I'm stirring myself up because I'm trying to get fired up to do what I got to do today and this week. No guarantees. So we just finished this up in Mark 14 with these words. And it says they went out, they sang a hymn of worship together corporately. And then they go where? To the Mount of Olives. What happens at the Mount of Olives? Gethsemane. I want to go to John 17. I want to go to that high priestly prayer, which is probably what I'm going to do tomorrow. But I want you to eat and drink the Lord's table. I want you to do it personally. I want you to do it privately to prepare yourself for war. May God bless these words. Shalom.